Hi, welcome to a new video. In this video I'm going to be building a Lego model. Well, not true Lego, to be honest. I've been on that Temu and bought one of these fake Legos. Now I'll get it out. Sorry about any rattling that's going to go on, but it's one of those which is like the Lamborghini one. I can't remember the actual model. This is smaller. This is about 1300 pieces and about 30 centimeters long. So we're going to see how this actually compares to proper Lego and actually build it up. It'll be a speed build, so I'll be talking about it throughout, and then there'll be a review at the end. So let's get it all open anyway. Now, I haven't actually built any Technic Lego properly for years, so this is really my first time of doing this kind of build. I must have to say though, unfortunately I have a spinal problem, but I also have arthritis in my hands, so if at times it looks like I'm struggling with the pieces, it's not actually really to do with the pieces, it's more to do with my hands. I mean, they do come in separate bags and the quality of the bricks so far look pretty good, really. I've preferred to set them out into colours. Now that's the way I'm doing it anyway, so I'm just starting with the front here and just building up the actual steering column and then onto the main frame of the actual car itself. I mean, the steering part goes together pretty well. You've just got the teethed part and then the cogs actually go into that. I mean, you would be able to swap this over from left-hand drive to right-hand drive and vice versa if you really wanted to. The front frame is then bulked out a little bit, then it's onto the rear part with the differential. This is pretty simple, it's just like the main one cog and then two little smaller cogs that go in, so then you've got independent movement of each wheel on the back and then just putting the axles together. So then that's near enough the actual main base actually done, and just attach that to the front component and then you've got a nice frame, so then you can actually see the main size of it. To finish off the frame now, you're just building up the actual sides to then support like the roof and the structure of the actual car. Now it's onto actually the second bag. Again, sorting this out into colours made it a little bit easier for me to actually deal with the actual build. This is where, for me, not doing Technic models for a while does have its disadvantages, because you've got to flip the actual component over that you actually build into then build on the other side. Now for me, I must have missed these or got confused and getting it the right way, so sometimes I had to end up building it and then taking that bit apart and then getting it right. There was times I was getting really frustrated with it because it was just annoying, but again, that's me just not being able to do it more than anything. The front bumper unit is made up of two parts that then clip onto the actual main frame. This is again where I went slightly wrong, because I'd misaligned the pins. I must have put 3 studs away instead of 2 studs away, but eventually I've got that on, and I mean, like I say, it feels pretty solid as a whole. The seats are a pretty simple construction. There's just the back and the bottom held in by basically just one long pin, and then you've got like the armrests, let's call them that then go up the side. Now if you look at the screen at the moment, you'll see that both have got the outside like armrest, and I didn't actually realise this literally until the end of the build. There should have been one inside as well. Again, that's me just missing part of the instructions, and they're then secured in by the actual sides that are then built up just through that one pin, so they seem to wobble around a little bit. The manual is pretty good quality. It is actually a nice glossy paper, which is unfortunate for me because I've got a studio lighting above. I was getting a lot of glare and everything else, so I was having to tilt the manual a bit. So what I ended up doing was actually scanning the manual in to the computer and then saving it as a PDF, which meant I could have it on my tablet by the side, which then also helped because then I could zoom in. Now, a lot of original Lego manuals, like the Technic ones, do actually have this now, which I find that actually better. So any of the other ones that I actually do, I'll do it like that because it made it a lot easier. This part is actually the dashboard and the steering wheel column, as well as then the supports for the actual roof, like front windscreen, even though there's no actual windscreen in this unit, it is just open. You do get a little sticker to actually put on the front that does say supercar, but it looked a little bit tacky, so in the end I actually took that off. This part then attaches to the actual main frame, and you've just got to line everything up absolutely perfect. Now, I just found this really fiddly. Again, not really to do with the parts, but mainly to do with me. I just couldn't get it on. And again, like with a lot of this build, in a sense, I was getting annoyed with it. It was supposed to be fun, and to be honest, I wasn't really having that much fun. So now we're on to, I think, the last bag here, which is actually start to build up the actual framework. Again, sorted it out into colours just for ease of use. The green parts here now actually make up the bonnet. This is actually made up in several components. You've got a middle section, then you've got some more slopes, and then some other slopes, and it kind of looks a little bit weird when it's actually put together, but it kind of does look okay. I'm not too sure how the actual larger original Lego model goes, but like I say, this is a smaller one, and it doesn't look too bad. Again, this has to be then clipped on, and you can just see in the bottom of the screen there's the two red parts on the actual main model. Everything has to go into those. Again, it was trying to line everything up, but eventually it did go on there. This is now building up the rear section of the car and the actual little spoiler. Again, this is two separate components that then go into the middle section and then actually bolt onto the actual main frame. The doors are actually made up of just normal Lego components with slopes and everything else, and there is a lot of pieces to actually make up the door and the hinge mechanism. It kind of looks okay, but it does go together pretty well. You just add down a small section that makes up the rear lights that then clips again onto the actual main unit. The roof section is made up of some longer components and then some curved ones with like ridges in them, and that then attaches, well, that basically makes up the roof, and then that attaches with some flexible like pipe parts that make the front windscreen as well as the wheel arches at the front. As you can see, it actually built up pretty well. Now, unfortunately for me, like I say, I have arthritis in my hands and it was a bit fiddly for me, but that's not the quality of the actual thing. I mean, the pieces went together really solidly. There's only one or two that were a little bit loose. But again, I haven't done Technic proper models since I was a kid. I mean, I've got, grab this one, this kind of thing from when I was a kid. You know, that was what a Technic model was when I was a kid. Now that, you know what, there's a few hundred pieces in there. There's 1,300, 1,400 pieces in this. But yeah, I mean, like I say, it went together okay, and the quality seems to be there. One thing I will say, you do get a little sticker pack with it, you know, to put all on. But the green is different. I've put it away, but yeah, it's completely different green. I'll show it on the screen now. So yeah, that was it. The one thing that I had problem with, then this isn't to do with the actual model itself or the quality of the bricks, is basically like with Technic, like anybody that does Lego will actually know these kind of things. You know, you have to flip things over a certain way and everything else. And the instructions were clear. There's no doubt about that. The instructions were really clear. But it was me, I just couldn't get to grips with it. But again, because I haven't done any for years, you know, it could be just to do with that. So it went together pretty well. The only one thing I had a few problems with was the seats, where I'd forgot to put the armrest in, then I had to take it all apart again. Again, there was a few other little problems that I had with just basically just lining up again, where I'd kind of gone wrong with pieces that I'd either put it in one too far forward or too far back or anything else. And I mean, yes, this is like one of the original Lego models, but it is a lot less pieces. There's 1,000 pieces in this. You know, it's got differential and everything else you can see there. You know, you have got full steering. There isn't any suspension or anything like that. And I mean, as you can see, you know, it is about 30 odd centimeters wide. It's a nice little piece. And from what I paid, which worked out to be £10, you know, for that, you can't actually go wrong. And I'm not saying you shouldn't buy, you know, the knockoff Lego compared to Lego, but you know, as a display piece, and for me, for a bit of fun, for me, it actually took around about, I think about 8, maybe 9 hours to do. But again, that's me with my fingers and basically cocking up. But yeah, you know, like I say, it is really nice. It's come out really nice. I'm surprised at the actual quality of it. Like I say, these are available on Temu and Aliexpress. You know, I'm not too sure about Amazon. If there is, I'll try and put some affiliate links in the description. And like I say, the normal price of these is around about, I think, anywhere between about 16 to 24 quid. Like I say, I got it on a deal for a tenner with something else, you know, that cost me a tenner as well, so I split the cost. But yeah, you know, like I say, I've had a bit of fun, and I mean, I've bought some other stuff off Aliexpress. I'll just quickly show you the one there are there, so make sure you subscribe to see these kind of ones. There's this camera, like a Technic model, that's again about 1,000 pieces in that one, and then some, I'll just grab one of these here, some like smaller retro stuff. Well, what was retro to everybody else, and you know, it's what I grew up with, like the old TVs, boom boxes and everything else. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And again, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And again, normally I am out in my little camper doing photography and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just trying to do, yeah, something else, because you know, I would have been building this anyway, so why not film it and share my thoughts on it. But yeah, great little thing for what I paid. it's worth a go. I mean, if you give this to a kid that didn't know it was Lego and you didn't know that Lego is printed within the actual bricks, you probably wouldn't even tell any difference between it. So yeah, worthwhile doing. So again, thank you for watching. Yeah, and hope you enjoyed.